I've been getting a lot of tips on new ways to color my line art now that I've decided I'm going to switch to black line. And a lot of them like this are genuinely good ideas, but I think some of you are missing the point on why I decided to go with the black lines. So if you don't know, in my art, I always gave characters their own specific line art color. And Alistair looked like this. I did have to adjust some of his colors to be more visible with the red lines, but overall he looked decent. But this is also Alistair with his Season 1 skin tone. And in Season 2, as we have seen from the trailers and promotional images, Alistair's skin tone is updated. And he went from this to this. That is genuinely the same color that he has in Season 2, I swear to you. But because of color theory, it looks bad at best and deeply worryingly questionable at worst. And so I made a video saying I don't really know what the solution is here. What do I do? He and Husk have the same red lines to symbolize their soul connection, so whatever happens to him also has to happen to Husk. If I darken the lines, I also have to darken Husk's lines. If I change the color at all, I also have to change Husk's line color. I did also try to change his skin tone to look better against the red lines, but in order to do this, I did have to technically lighten his skin while turning up the saturation so that it still reads as brown. And this was genuinely the best I could do. More than this and it looks much lighter, less than this and it gets washed out, and this is still pretty washed out. So in the end, what I decided to do was just switch to black lines. And I've gotten a lot of tips from people going, you could put a multiply layer over it, or you could do clippy masks, or you can add inside color with the outside being black. And all of those ideas are good, but I didn't decide to go with the solid black lines because I couldn't think of any other alternative for the colored lines. I considered pretty much everything. The reason I decided to go with the black lines was at the end of the day, no matter how much I loved the colored lines, and I loved them so much, they've been my gimmick since I started drawing in 2022, and they have always been a limitation in what I could do with a drawing. I love color. That's the point of the colored lines. I love color. And the colored lines made color hard. It makes color hard to balance. Husk here, his red is much more washed out because otherwise it doesn't look very good with his red lines. So in my effort to use as much color as possible, I limited myself in what colors I could use. But if I switch to the solid black lines, I can fully spread my wings when it comes to color. I can try new things, I can practice new techniques, and I don't have to worry about it clashing with the lines. And then, once I feel comfortable enough in that area, then I will consider ways to bring color back to the lines. So that is why I went with the black lines. Not because I couldn't think of any other alternative, but because I realized what the limitations of my style were. I realized that they were self-imposed, and I decided I want to experience true freedom in that area, and then I will start looking at other options.